Maybe I can pick up a little bit on this notion of responding to specific circumstances, because your academic background is sociology, but you certainly don't rely upon quantitative research and qualitative research, or both here, but you're very comfortable stepping outside of the social science umbrella and embracing, arts and humanities type stuff. So I guess my question is this: stories and anecdotes are sources of knowledge, complete literary works are sources of knowledge relevant to this. What do these sources add to the mix that you can't do without?
And I think this is part of the troublesome aspect, is that I'm trying to, in a sense, provoke a different way of looking at governance and leadership issues, management, organizations, etc. And one of the problems with any kind of quantitative research in particular is that it can only take these very small snapshots and limit a study or limit the data to a construct or to 2 or 3 variables that can be manipulated, measured, analyzed, etc., and they miss the broader complexity of the human condition. And so I advocate, and others have done so as well, that looking at works of fiction, looking at other works in the humanities, in philosophy, in history, etc., those works are better at capturing that muddiness and ambiguity and complexity. And even in fictional works just really build or construct a world, a fantasy world or a fictional world, around a real world problem. And they do portray that complexity, and that's really where people can identify with human experience much more through that kind of work than they can through a much drier or a much more abstracted kind of study. And so, you can read the leadership research literature and you can be left hanging, and you can say, oh, well, somebody found that X% of this or these 2 things were related this time. But in reading, I talk about Hermann Hesse's novels in the book. I talk about Franz Kafka. For example, people are fed up with bureaucracy and those kinds of things. If you really want to learn about bureaucracy, if you really want to get an empathetic kind of coverage of bureaucracy, you're far better off reading Franz Kafka than you are reading a research study. Because you'll be reading Kafka and you'll be going, yep, been there, done that, that was my work today, type of thing. And so we really have to look outside of these narrow snapshot pieces. And I think it teaches us that the life and through our work life or through a volunteer life or even in family, that there's so much going on and so many different factors coming into play. How do we integrate that into managing that?
Yeah.
Right? And to me, the best way is to take those things that frame life, give that aesthetic coverage of life, and allow the imagination to wander.